Porch commentary. All right, so I got two things, and my mother-in-law is here listening to me, so it feels like I have a little bit of an audience. Do you want to be on camera?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. First is SEC Media Days. Okay, what it used to be and the purpose versus what it is now. So I will start by saying I am not at all critical of SEC Media Days. It's neat. I'm really glad they do it, but it has changed. All right, so this is what I mean by that. You know, in its origination, I wasn't even around for it. That was a long time ago. And then you get up into late 90s, early part of the 2000s. It was still a thing where, it was in Hoover pretty much every year. And it was still a thing where it was an opportunity for local media, mostly local media, some bigger obviously, but bigger regional and even national, but mostly local media, a chance for them to go and get face-to-face and interact with a coach or a player, a star player that they normally would have no access to. It was their one chance in the summer to be, in the same room with, back then it would be, Jackie Sherrill and, whoever else at these other schools, and ask them a question, and the players. You've always had Radio Row, which is what I obviously did. We were never guaranteed, on the schedule, so-and-so is going to sit down with you at this time and this time. It wasn't a guarantee you'd get them, but you could go and you could work with the local SIDs and maybe get them to come be on your show. So it was at least an opportunity. And what started happening was, the early part of 2000s and then 2010, 11, 12, it kind of grew. It became a little bit more of a TV event. They started broadcasting, a good portion of media days, like on ESPN and, cutting in during Sports Center and all that stuff. So it started geared a little bit more towards television, and it started to feel more like a media convention. So like a few years I'd go there, we'd be there for our radio show, and really what was going on was we're just palling around all week with other media. It wasn't like Dan Mullen, Hugh Freeze, and Nick Saban were all coming and sitting down at our radio show. They might do a few, but for the most part it was all these other media people. This guy does a radio show in Atlanta. Well, he comes and sits down. Or this guy's on ESPN and he comes and gives us an interview. So it's like media interviewing media. And so as it began to kind of creep closer and closer to what it is now, I was like, it's great. It's fine. I'm glad they do it. I understand the purpose. I'm just not sure it's serving a purpose for me to spend my money, miss my family vacation, and go down there. Then, 2014, the SEC Network pops out. And ever since then, and rightfully so, if I were making the decisions, I'd do the same thing. This would be our event on the SEC Network. It's a TV event. It's going to be for me all day, all 4 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Anything I want that benefits me on TV is what it would be about, and that's what it has become. But in return, for a local radio show, it's just not something that, here's why I can't justify spending my money missing my family vacation or driving over there and spending a week at hotels and all this kind of stuff to do it, is because it is on TV. Everything is live. If I'm doing my show between 12 and 2, and somebody is live on the stage at that moment right then, and I want to break in, I can. It's on TV. I just pot it up and listen to 10 seconds of it on the radio, and I don't need to be there for that. And I'm not sure they really care if I'm there or not, which is fine. It has become a big TV event. For me as a local radio show, it has gone from my audience used to expect to hear me at SEC Media Days, and I understood that. I better be there. To now, they don't really expect me to be there. Don't really care if I'm there or not, as long as we cover it. Well, because it's on TV all day, every day, Monday through Thursday, I can cover it. Does that make sense at all?
But you were the conduit,
right,
at one time between fans and
right
Media Day, and you don't need to be the conduit anymore. It's on TV.
It's on TV, and again, it's a great event. The league does a phenomenal job with it. And they got great people. And the only thing I really miss about going is there's a few of the folks maybe that work for the league. I don't see them. Or maybe a couple of the media people, but so what, Other than that, yeah, that's right. It used to be a thing where the local media person would connect in July, your football coach who's about to begin practice, your star quarterback who's on the podium in a tie, and that local audience. We'd connect it for that 1 week. And now you don't really have to do that, and so like we'll cover it on the radio, and we'll either break in live, or that morning before we went on the air, one of the coaches will have said something, or maybe Greg Sankey gave a speech. Well, the whole thing, I can download it right there at secsports.com, use it if I want to, or not if I not. And I didn't spend a dime on a hotel.
It's already been tweeted.
It's already been tweeted 100 times. It's on TV. So it's just, it's not a thing of, I'm not against it. I don't really dislike it. It's just, it's not SEC Media Days that used to require me to be there.
You don't feel responsible to your listeners.
Right. And their listeners now don't give one flip if I'm there or not.
That's right.
Because if they're interested, they've already heard it. It's not even like I'm going to deliver them a soundbite or a quote that they hadn't heard yet. So it's just totally changed. So I enjoy going to Media Days. I always have. You know, it's more personally enjoying it. But when you're looking at it from a business standpoint, you should anyway, be able to justify it a little more so than just, you know, on a personal enjoyment level. There's a lot of things I enjoy personally that, you know, aren't a part of the job or aren't a part of the business. It certainly has changed over the years. The event has changed, sort of the purpose, the way it's delivered, the way it's demanded. You know, the way the Southeastern Conference runs it, they could not do it any better, any more to their purpose and the SEC Network's purpose. And that's all that they really should be concerned about. I will say, though, if I were there this year and if I were asking one question of each coach from every SEC school, it would be this question. Coach, where should the money come from that is being paid to the players to fund your roster? Where should that money come from? I would ask that question to every coach if I were there. But I'm not trying to stir the pot, and I'm not going to be there.